Aurora Sportsman's Club invites you to participate in this one-of-a-kind Illinois concealed carry program that also qualifies you for Florida, Utah, and Arizona non-resident permits. Find out what over 6,000 students already know at saferusa.com.
Or call 815-741-3474. That's 815-741-3474. Safer USA. Choosing to own a firearm is your business. Teaching you to own it responsibly is ours.
Individual rates, coverage offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions.
If you run a small business, saving up to 30% on your workers' comp insurance is a big deal. That's why you need to check your rate at pieinsurance.com. Pi Insurance makes workers' comp a no-brainer with an easy online experience and outstanding service. At Pi, we protect your business and your employees and could save you up to 30%. Check your rate online today and see how much you can save at pieinsurance.com. That's pieinsurance.com.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. I'm a better neighbor because my service has taught me how important it is to be a team player. My training helps me in my classes when I give attention to detail to the task at hand. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my country safe from threats. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time by visiting NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Illinois Army National Guard. Aired by the Illinois Broadcasters Association and this station.
Balance of nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
I am up every day feeding 60 horses, throwing hay, doing all the things I need to do, and I actually have been back in the saddle, and it's been years, I'm telling you, years since I've been able to do anything with my horses, and I think it's this stuff. I'm telling you, I think it's this stuff. My husband says he has his wife back. You know, it's amazing. So you can tell everybody my story.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Balance of Nature is now offering a 35% discount and free shipping on your first preferred order of Balance of Nature. This offer may end at any time, so don't wait to start Dr. Howard's Health Challenge. Call 800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code Chicago.
It's time for On Target Radio, Chicagoland's only radio show dedicated to the red meat issues that affect your life, from gun control to freedom of speech. Now, debating, debunking, and discussing today's hot issues. Here are your hosts, David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz.
Welcome to On Target Radio. I'm Eric Allen. Tonight, I'm here with our host, Gretchen Fritz. David is out of town, so anything goes. Well, almost anything. We'll be talking about backlash around the world, Confederate statues, riots, and later, a crisis at the border and unemployment numbers. To participate, give us a call at 312-642-5600. Visit us on Facebook, On Target Radio, or watch us live on YouTube, On Target Radio.
Wow, you're hyper-prepared. I wasn't expecting an open of any kind. I thought we were just going to start chatting.
No, well, you know,
we got scolded.
Introduction.
We got scolded because we didn't introduce you.
I know,
before,
we got our hands slapped.
Yeah, so we're trying. Okay. We're trying to do better. WIND.
We're trying new things.
We are. So yeah, David ran away with the circus, and he is not back yet.
That's actually believable, though.
Well, he kind of did. I mean, if anybody knew who he was with, they would go, well, yeah, actually, that's kind of accurate.
I just need to go on the record as the person who scolded you as saying no one scolded you.
Okay.
We thought we were scolded. Apparently, I mean,
yeah, I thought
it was. It
sure
was unanimous
like
between the two of us, and if David were here, I think he would be voting with us. So.
You have no voting rights.
Yeah. Okay.
I should have worn my T-shirt that says "My vote cancels out y'all's."
I've never seen that T-shirt.
It was when the Onion used to have merchandise. I don't know that they sell merchandise anymore, but
I haven't seen an article from them in the longest time.
They still do put out articles, but they used to have a whole like catalog. And like one year for Christmas, everybody got Onion merch. It was my dad got a mug that says, "I enjoy Columbia's second finest export."
Nice.
But yeah, I have a bag that says "Stop staring at my tote." So
Very
yeah,
nice.
they have they used to have a lot of really good merch. So unfortunately, I shed a tear today for Onion merch. So I just happened across this week. I was going through my county board email, and I get these emails from a website called Route 50, and that one, along with the National Association of Counties News, they provide news stories that pertain specifically to local government. And so I found it interesting that an inordinate number of the articles that I saw, like in 2 emails back to back, had to do with things that we often have talked about, or that would be interesting to our listeners. So the first one that I wanted to talk about was there, of course, last year and even this year with the Betsy Ross sneakers and all that nonsense.
Oh,
there's been a lot. There's been a lot of trying to kind of, would it be proper to say blackwash the Civil War? Instead of whitewash.
Yeah, I would say that.
I mean, I think that you could characterize it that way. As far as, and I'm not saying that Black people having negative feelings about the Civil War, I'm not saying that's wrong, or about the Confederacy, but I think that just trying to erase it and taking down the Confederate flag over the South Carolina Capitol, I think that's where it was, and tearing down statues of Robert E. Lee and other Confederate generals and figures. I think it's a super selective reading of history that is not profitable. I mean, one of the points of studying history is so that we don't repeat it, so we don't repeat the mistakes of the past. And so if you act like the Civil War never happened and the Confederacy never existed, I think you miss the point.
Well, exactly. And I'm so sick and tired of every time you turn around, someone's offended by something, right?
Right.
And it's just getting worse. Back years ago, I mean, people got offended, but they didn't actually, you got offended, you got over it, and you moved on. Now people are getting offended, and because, it's kind of like set a precedent that, now because someone's offended, now we have to remove the statue, or now we have to remove the flag.
We have to do something.
Right. We can't just let it go anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know who got a bug up their what, but
right. I mean, everybody's got these feelings that they have to be like mollycoddled, and everybody's got to have like a kitten and donuts and stuff to make them feel better. And it's like when we grew up, and certainly when David grew up, and it was like, rub some dirt on it. Come on, let's
walk it off.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Shake it off, kid. Like, get over yourself. But anyway, so this article I find encouraging. There are 7 states, I think that's what they said. I'm trying to find the spot where it says this. There are 7 states that have passed laws that actually prevent cities, like local municipalities and local jurisdictions, from removing, renaming, or relocating monuments. The article is specifically about Tennessee, but these type of laws were passed in Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia, which is almost the entire South.
Well, and it should be like a historical marker. I know they have the Historical Society where you can't tear down a historical house, or there's certain laws protecting it. The statues are the same thing. It's a part of history.
Yeah, and I think, and one of the city officials in the story mentions this, it depends on who put up the statue and why. If it was put up in the last 100 years by somebody honoring like his own family ancestor, okay, that maybe has less significance than something that was actually erected back in that day, or maybe in like a 100-year commemoration of that. So, in like the, 1876, so like 1976, they put it up in the 100-year commemoration of, or whatever. But
so all the Obama statues can come down.
Yeah, those I could do without. But so in these places where they've outlawed removing them, they're sort of left to figure out, okay, what do we do? Because there was a situation, I think it was in North Carolina. Yeah, University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, there was a statue that people were upset about that was called Silent Sam. And they didn't take it down right away, and the students ended up toppling it. So it's not like a problem that you can necessarily just ignore and it will go away. You know, like I said, the kids today, they don't rub dirt on it and get on with their lives. They make a big deal about it. And so a lot of these places are contextualizing. They're trying to add additional information so that people can understand the statue in the context of history.
Well, and that's going to be kind of interesting to see, so who's going to write the context to that, and what's it going to say, first of all? And then are they actually going to accept that, or is that still going to be a problem for them? My vote is probably a little bit of both. So it's probably going to be a little bit swayed, and they're probably still not going to accept it.
I would say you're probably, in your own pessimistic, cynical way, I think you're probably onto something. I mean, I think that a lot of people are also not easy to please these days, and so the mollycoddling will continue. In other words, is what you're saying. But I think at least it's a step in the right direction. I mean, it's just that these people like Colin Kaepernick, just this super selective reading and understanding of history, or maybe reading and caring about history. He threw a fit about the circle of stars on the back of a Nike shoe because the Betsy Ross, the original American flag, had been used by some small fringy white nationalist group as their symbol. Okay, well, I never even heard of that before. So how is it that he knows about that? It's because he sought out that information. It's because he has a selective reading and an education of history that seeks for those things that are going to offend him and that are going to be offensive to Black people, and that he can get them worked up and frothing about.
Well, that's all it is. It's all for show. It's all just it's all a big, farce, really. I mean, you get the Gadsden flag, right? So the Tea Party had, for a while, used that as kind of their symbol, but it's really a historical U.S. flag.
Absolutely.
Just like the Betsy Ross flag is, just like, any other flag from history is. I mean, there's no reason to get rid of it. The Confederate flag, same thing. It's a part of our history, and it's a part of what we were.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, like I said, I'm encouraged. I think it's at least a step in the right direction, other than just tear everything down, just remove everything, just erase that part of history that we don't want to have to think about, and we don't want to have to deal with it. Well, I'm sorry, we do have to deal with it. It is part of history, and I think that we should educate ourselves and again, be able to walk it off, rub some dirt on it, and get on with your life.
Right. I mean, if I come visit this country, I want to go see these historical things because I learned about, hopefully, what happened in this country, and go visit that and be a part of, that kind of history and experience that to the best that I can through those monuments.
It's interesting. It's interesting that you say that. I actually had a friend from Canada, and even though he was Canadian, he grew up in Canada, he was obsessed with the American Civil War. And that's what he went to school for. He became an American history teacher, even though he was Canadian. So what you're saying is absolutely true.
Yeah.
So that was very interesting, starting our conversation on backlash against these millennials. And we'll be back with more on Target Radio. And you're listening to AM 560, The Answer.
Women over 50 are happier and more secure than women in their 20s.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson.
A third of 50-plus respondents are having sex at least twice per week.
They're confident, they like their looks, so they're probably more fun to hang around with.
Sure, engaged in coitus 2 times a week.
What did you call it?
You know.
Coitus? That is common spelling?
Start your day with Chicago's Morning Answer. Weekday mornings starting at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
Look it up, old lady.
Do you like your gun range bag? There's a really cool local company here in Chicagoland that makes the finest range bags anywhere. And these quality range bags are so inexpensive that I bet you won't hesitate to buy one. The Hackett range bags from Hackett Equipment have it all. There are compartmentalized pouches that hold 2 or 4 pistols, ammo, mags, and even targets. Basically everything you need for a day at the range in a stealth design that doesn't resemble a range bag. Nobody will know you're carrying firearms. Additionally, they're super heavy duty and will last a lifetime because Hackett bags are 30% heavier than typical range bags. And the price is unreal. The large pack is under $100 and the small one under $80. But if you visit gunrangebags.com and use the promo code AM560, you'll save an additional 10%. Hackett equipment bags really are range bags that can hack it. That's gunrangebags.com, promo code AM560. Gunrangebags.com. Do it now.
Did you miss the open enrollment this year? I can help you purchase a PPO health insurance plan at any time that eliminates the mandatory maternity coverage. This is Tom Marabali, your health insurance advocate and independent producer for Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois and other carriers. If you're over 50 and are covered by the Affordable Care Act, you're paying for maternity coverage every month whether you want it or not. In Chicago, the least expensive PPO health insurance plan under the ACA will cost $572 per month with a total out-of-pocket cost of $7,900 before your bills are paid at 100%. I can show you how to eliminate the mandatory maternity coverage and lower your monthly premium to $278 per month with a total out-of-pocket cost of $2,500 before your bills are paid at 100%. That's a savings of $294 a month and over $5,000 with my lower deductible. For a free quote and to see if you qualify, call me, Tom Marabali, at 630-863-3477. That's 630-863-3477.
National competition for your business is eating away at your customer base faster than you can keep up. It's as if they have a back room of digital marketing minions swallowing your customers one by one. And it's not a pretty sight. What if you could beat them with your own minions? You need Salem Surround, a full-service digital agency with all your digital marketing under one roof. When a potential customer searches for your product, do they find your business or the competition? Is your contact information accurate and everywhere it should be to reach today's digital consumer? Does your website have all the right tools to turn visitors into leads? We've got some solutions. Contact Salem Surround for a free evaluation of your digital presence and to help get your message in front of today's digital audience. We'll help deliver customers by putting your business message in the right place at the right time. Don't just invest in a marketing strategy. You need to surround your target audience. Learn more at surroundchicago.com. Surroundchicago.com, connecting you with new customers.
We now return to On Target Radio on AM 560, The Answer. If you have a question or an opinion, share it with us at 312-642-5600. And now, debating, debunking, and discussing today's hot issues. Here are your hosts, David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz.
And we're back with more On Target Radio. So we're continuing our conversation about backlash against all things liberal. And the next article that I ran across, which was, it was actually originally published in The Conversation, but it was from Route 50 was where I got it. And so this is a new thing I actually was not previously aware of. So we know about the sanctuary cities, or sanctuary counties, for gun rights and for preserving the Second Amendment is what a lot of them have called them. The Second Amendment sanctuary counties,
Right, the cities are more for the illegals, I think.
Right, resolutions to for the preservation of the Second Amendment and that sort of thing. Now there's some cities that are actually calling themselves sanctuaries for the unborn. So the small Texas town of Wascom, their city council passed an ordinance that labels groups like Planned Parenthood, NARAL, and others that perform abortions or assist women in attaining abortions. They're calling them criminal organizations. And basically in that town, you cannot get an abortion in that town. They're basically outlawing abortion organizations in their town. So that was a new one on me. Like I said, I'm more familiar with the Second Amendment sanctuaries or the illegal immigrant sanctuaries, which was kind of where our cheeky, where we got the whole idea for the Second Amendment sanctuaries.
So how's that going to work? What happens to the abortion doctors or clinics that were already in those cities?
I think there weren't.
Okay.
I think there weren't any.
That makes it easy.
In Wascom, there are no abortion providers in the town, so it's not clear how the town would enforce the ordinance. But it would probably deter anyone from wanting to have a clinic there because
Well,
they're not welcome.
I assume they could do kind of the same thing they do with the, keeping gun stores out, like just make the regulations to have a business in that
Right.
town just overwhelming for that type of business to where it doesn't make sense for them to do it.
Right. I think too. There's a lot of ways. I mean, especially a small city that has sort of homogenous values. I think you could probably safely characterize it that way. Is that everybody on the city council, they're going to come try to get like a building permit or, a special use permit to do something like that. And they're all going to vote no. At some point, your only recourse is going to be to sue them. And why? Just go to the next town,
Well, I mean, this could kind of go the opposite of the Chicago gun range thing. Where, Chicago wouldn't allow them, but now we've sued Chicago to allow them, but now this is kind of going in reverse.
Right.
So it's going to get really interesting, I think. But depending on how many cities jump on, of course, because with these little small ones, I don't think it's going to make a big difference. But if a major city like Chicago took it on, I could see there being some problems or backlash.
Yeah, it's an interesting topic. I think that a lot of, especially the Second Amendment sanctuary in Illinois, especially, it's symbolic. I mean, we recognize that unless a county's sheriff and state's attorney are on board and they're saying, yes, we're not going to enforce these onerous gun laws, either from the federal government, the state government, whatever the case may be, there's no teeth to it unless those two people basically direct their organizations that we're not going to enforce these things. But yeah, so the article points out a sanctuary is a state, a county, or a town where local officials refuse to enforce federal laws of one sort or another. And in Illinois, it's been counties saying we're not going to enforce state laws pertaining to firearms. So that's been interesting. And he also says fundamentally sanctuaries claim immunity from federal laws and policies they think violate the Constitution or some other immutable law or principle of justice, which is also known as nullification. I've mentioned this a long time ago, but there's an organization that their main thing is nullification. It's called the 10th Amendment Center. So if you're interested in the 10th Amendment or if you're interested in nullification, their website has a wealth of information about it. But it is an interesting topic from a constitutional standpoint.
Oh, absolutely.
So I do like what this guy says, though. He handles this very equitably, in my opinion. He says the assertion that Roe v. Wade is wrong constitutionally is debatable, but it is not out of bounds in a healthy constitutional democracy. Anyone is free to declare that they believe Roe versus Wade is wrong and should be overturned. So he's basically saying, if it's a basis for a discussion, for a constitutional argument, then he doesn't see a problem with it. And he says, on the other hand, some sanctuary movements, could be considered to violate thus and so. But it's interesting because the concept of nullification actually was promulgated by Thomas Jefferson and James Madison. They set forth the theory of nullification in the Kentucky and Virginia resolutions in 1798. So it's not new. It's not anti-federalist. It's not anti-constitutional. It's just simply, it's based on a view that the states formed the Union by an agreement. They agreed to enter into a compact to form the Union, and so the states get to determine the states are the ultimate authority, basically.
Right, and see, the interesting thing is that when you actually go back to history and you look at the way the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and everything was drafted, it was drafted to protect the people from the government. Mm-hmm. So this whole concept of nullification makes a lot of sense, right? So there's something that doesn't make, that doesn't work out, and you have the right to nullify it, or you have the ability to nullify it. I just see a lot of that, thought went in all those years ago, and now we're trying to undo all that thought.
No, I agree. And actually brought to mind, really what all the states, Illinois, Colorado, all the states that have legalize some form of marijuana, whether medical or recreational, that's actually nullification. It's basic because marijuana is still federally illegal. It's still considered a controlled substance by the federal government. So technically that's nullification as well. So that's a very active thing that the states are doing. And I know that there were some states, and I didn't research this, but I think Kentucky might have been one. I thought even Colorado, but Colorado is kind of like, they're funny because sometimes they're liberal when it comes to gun laws and sometimes they're conservative when it comes to gun laws. But I want to say, there were a bunch of states that were saying, like, we're not recognizing the federal government's gun laws. The federal government's gone too far. A lot of the states that have gone to constitutional carry rather than licensed concealed carry, I think are probably the same states that are nullifying the federal firearms laws.
Yeah, and I think Florida might be jumping on that constitutional carry bandwagon, which is kind of interesting because they had the second highest requirements after Illinois as far as training goes.
It's also one of the most expensive. I'm
Right.
surprised they'd be willing to give up the money.
I could be wrong, but I'd have to look at that again. But I do remember being kind of surprised by that.
That is super interesting too, because I was actually just thinking about Florida the other day because there are like at least 3 things going on in Orlando next year, and I'm like, oh, maybe I should get Florida concealed carry because I'm going to be spending a lot of time in Florida.
Yeah,
so,
but I think when I got it, it was like $130 or something like that, and it was a lot.
Yeah,
after
it
you
is
got
a lot.
Utah and Arizona, and you get the the normal ones, and then Florida gets you a couple other states, and now we have it here, but nobody wants to recognize ours because we don't recognize theirs. So
Sure. Well, you shouldn't say nobody. There's
Well-
like 25 states that recognize Illinois.
Well, right. So yeah, nobody is kind
It's
of.
it's just that they don't recognize Illinois because it's Illinois. They recognize it because they recognize everybody.
Well, right, and there are some states that say you're not going to recognize ours. We're not going to recognize yours, and that's too bad. And Illinois is missing out on a huge profitability there because we have one of the highest training requirements in the nation.
Mm-hmm.
If we were to have reciprocity with other states, I think a lot of people would want the Illinois permit because it would probably get them a lot. But
It's an interesting idea. The other thing that there is a backlash against is, of course, there's a huge backlash against Common Core. But part of Common Core that really has people up in arms is the eradicating of learning cursive, that we're not teaching our kids cursive anymore.
I think they should learn cursive.
I do too. I think it's sad that kids can't read birthday cards from their grandparents and their aunts and uncles. The argument is they don't want kids to be able to read historical documents like the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence. I don't know. Is that why? I think it was a time-saving thing because everything's computerized.
Yeah.
They just thought it wasn't necessary. Anyway, when we come back, we are going to be talking about the crisis at the southern border and how a lot of women and children are dying down there. I think it's not getting enough attention. And we'll be back with more On Target Radio. And you're
Tickets
listening
for
to-
Freedom Summit 2019 sold out in record time. In response to the high demand, we've opened up an overflow room for attendees to watch the event on Saturday, November 2nd at the Westin Chicago Northwest. Overflow tickets are on sale now, but are selling fast. Get yours at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Woodland Windows and Doors, Automated Systems Incorporated, Joe Cotton Ford, HealthInsuranceMentors.com, and by Cromweedy Roofing.
Fox News, I'm Jessica Stone. White House Acting Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney is still defending President Trump's decision to host the G7 summit at his Florida Gulf resort, even though the president reversed course Saturday.
At the end of the day, he still considers himself to be in the hospitality business, and he saw an opportunity to take the biggest leaders from around the world, and he wanted to put on the absolute best show, the best visit that he possibly could, and he was very comfortable doing that at Doral. And I think we were all surprised the level of pushback. I think it's the right decision to change. We'll have to find someplace else.
He spoke on Fox News Sunday. Evacuating U.S. forces will move from Syria to western Iraq to counter terror group ISIS. President Trump's decision to withdraw those troops allows Turkey to invade Syria.
I'm very confident that this administration's efforts to crush ISIS will continue.
Secretary of State Mike Pompeo on ABC's This Week. America is listening to Fox News.
Hard drives fail. Viruses destroy data. Having a copy of your work, photographs, financial records, and other important files is one step in a thorough backup plan. Geekometrics offers a secure online solution by placing a copy of your data off-site where it's safe from theft, fire, and unauthorized access. Losing photos and financial information is devastating. Geekometrics' secure online backup solution is a reliable way to back up important files. The most common reasons for not backing up are uncertainty about what needs to be backed up and how to do it reliably. Geekometrics provides a full-service managed solution with no storage limit. Geekometrics does all of the setup, configuring, testing, and monitoring. Your data is even safe when you travel with your Mac or PC laptop. Call 630-759-9283 to talk to a specialist who can help you keep your data safe. 630-759-9283. Geekometrics, helping you keep your data safe.
Safer USA, Chicago's most trusted name in firearm training, is offering beginners classes, tactical pistol and rifle, long-range rifle to 600 yards, and the most comprehensive Illinois concealed carry program available. AM 560 On Target Radio co-hosts David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz will prepare you to carry a firearm for personal protection, including firearm, holster, and ammunition selection. A comprehensive law review designed to keep you out of trouble, and even how to deal with home invasions. Firearm, ammunition, holster, class notebook are provided. Safer USA and the Aurora Sportsman's Club invites you to participate in this one-of-a-kind Illinois concealed carry program that also qualifies you for Florida, Utah, and Arizona non-resident permits. Find out what over 6,000 students already know at saferusa.com.
Or call 815-741-3474. That's 815-741-3474. Safer USA. Choosing to own a firearm is your business. Teaching you to own it responsibly is ours.
Hi, this is Amy Jacobson to talk about my incredible experience with Online Trading Academy. I signed up for my own free class, and you can too. You'll be introduced to skills to take control of your financial future. You'll learn the right moves to make when the economy turns and how to spend less time worrying about life and more time living it. You know, no one else will ever care about your financial future as much as you do. It's time for you to start learning how to invest in you. Seats are limited. Just call 844-778-7132 to attend and get 2 free passes to their next class so you can check this all out. And if you call right now, they will send you home with their Professionals Insider Kit. It's loaded with exclusive investing courses and some of their best lessons from the pros. This is a limited opportunity and seats go quickly, so call 844-778-7132. That's 844-778-7132, or visit them online at otaclass.com, otaclass.com.
You've heard Remke's Garage commercials on AM 560, and now they specialize in servicing Sprinters and light-duty diesels. But the experts at Remke's also service Isuzu and Chevy low-cab forward trucks. So if you own an Isuzu or Chevy low-cab forward truck but aren't sure where to get it repaired, take it to Remke's Garage, your #1 dealer alternative for repairs to your Isuzu NPR, Isuzu F-Series, or Chevy low-cab forward truck. Whether gas or diesel, your truck is the lifeline of your business. That's why Remke's Garage offers free loaners while your truck is being serviced. They'll even pick up and deliver for your convenience. Remke's Garage has the factory scan tool to properly diagnose Isuzu and Chevy low-cab forward trucks. Their commitment to your business is backed with a complimentary maintenance plan and free 2-year warranty. Go to remkesgarage.com to learn more about their specialization in Isuzu and Chevy low-cab forward trucks and schedule your appointment today. That's Remkes, REMKES, garage.com.
You're listening to On Target Radio on AM 560, The Answer, with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life. To participate, call the studio at 312-642-5600.
We're back with more On Target Radio. I was going to give the phone number and tell people to call, but our bumper did that, so I guess I don't need to do that. Next we're going to talk about a crisis at our southern border. So I found this article, and before I actually, read the whole thing and, deemed it worthy for the show, I didn't actually look who it's from. So it's actually from Bloomberg, which I find a little bit interesting. But they're kind of going on saying how many women and children are actually dying at the southern border. And I'm thinking, well, that's a interesting article for Bloomberg, but then I go see that they kind of blame Trump in here for it a little bit too. So, it's okay that, now it's Bloomberg. So, basically what it's saying is that, it's getting harder to cross the border, and the amounts of money these people are putting forth to cross the border is actually very surprising.
Yeah, so the article focuses on a coyote who spoke, and he didn't give his last name, but he spoke to the writer from Bloomberg, I assume, and he talked about how, like, he's starting just this year, he started to see whole families trying to, hire coyotes to bring them across. He said that wasn't typical, but he started asking around amongst other coyotes, and they said, yeah, many families are crossing over. So the interesting thing that I saw is they're actually able to pay these coyotes because these are not like the poorest of the poor in their countries that are coming. These are like middle class, maybe lower middle class, maybe upper middle class, but they're more, they have some resources, and so they can scrape together several $1,000s to get their whole family across, and so that's what they're doing. He said he got a family, I don't know if it was 4 or 5, but he got them across, and he got $35,000 for it.
Yeah, we're talking about $7,500 for children, and an extra $100,000 for Central Americans. So, I mean, the question is if these people have all this money, I mean, why wouldn't they go about this in the legal manner? And why wouldn't they open a store in their country? I know the article kind of mentions that too. Use that money to do something, to build a business in your country,
right,
instead of trying to come here illegally with all that money. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Right, and it does say that that a lot of times they, when they get to the border and the security's tighter, it says some give up and go home, some wait and hope, and then others just pay the coyotes to get them across, which they, the coyotes are very experienced, and they, some are more scrupulous than others. I mean, it sounds like this guy is maybe a little bit more scrupulous than some of them. Some of them, there have been horrific instances of like a bunch of people stuck in a train car with like no air, basically. Like they just seal it, and then they ended up dying because they had no air, no
you
food,
hear that a lot.
Yeah. So, this guy, he went to some lengths to, he separated the parents and the children, thinking it would be easier to sneak them in separately. And he ended up doing that, and with some effort, and
Right.
got them all across safely.
I mean, it even talks about how they go to the lengths of like using a leaf blower to blow the sand to cover up the
Right.
footprints and
Cover
stuff like that.
Cover
I
their
mean,
literally
that's-
cover their tracks.
Right. I mean, it's actually kind of interesting.
It is very interesting, and they know, it says that the coyotes know the spots that are maybe like not as well guarded or not guarded at all, or they know like when the guards are going to be in another section of the border, and so they cross while they're downstream a little ways.
Yeah, and they have cameras on these bridges watching the guards, so they know when their backs are turned and all. I mean, that's some pretty, not really high tech, but some thought and effort does go into it.
Right. Yeah. It's very, I mean, obviously it's their livelihood. So being good at it, I suppose, would be profitable as well. But you don't necessarily think of these people as like having scruples or actually like caring whether people live or die, because you do hear the bad stories.
Oh, yeah.
So it does sound like at least this guy's not just trying to get rich. He's also, trying to make sure people don't die.
I don't know. I mean, he's definitely getting rich doing it, whether he's
Yeah.
trying or not. He's getting
some
rich.
Some of the stories I've heard, like dads who have daughters who are like in the like 11 to 18 range, they'll like give them day after pills because they have the expectation that their daughters might get raped if they get separated from them, or if they're taken by traffickers or whatever. I mean, it's just, that's horrifying.
Well,
I
it
hear
is.
these stories, just keeps you awake at night.
And what just doesn't make sense is the people that have the money, and I keep going back to that, but like if you have the money and then you're going to allow you to be separated from your children to get it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I don't know where these people's priorities are, what better life they think they're going to have here. I mean, I know they probably hear, great stories about the U.S. and life here and things that we do differently, but this article actually does mention that, the border crossings and stuff like that took a downturn when the economy kind of went down, and now that the economy's back up and unemployment's low, it's starting to come back up. So
we actually have more information about low unemployment coming up in the next segment. But right now, we're going to take a break and come back with more On Target Radio. And you're listening to AM 560, The Answer.
Hard drives fail. Viruses destroy data. Having a copy of your work, photographs, financial records, and other important files is one step in a thorough backup plan. Geekometrics offers a secure online solution by placing a copy of your data off-site where it's safe from theft, fire, and unauthorized access. Losing photos and financial information is devastating. Geekometrics' secure online backup solution is a reliable way to back up important files. The most common reasons for not backing up are uncertainty about what needs to be backed up and how to do it reliably. Geekometrics provides a full-service managed solution with no storage limit. Geekometrics does all of the setup, configuring, testing, and monitoring. Your data is even safe when you travel with your Mac or PC laptop. Call 630-759-9283 to talk to a specialist who can help you keep your data safe. 630-759-9283. Geekometrics, helping you keep your data safe.
Did you miss the open enrollment this year? I can help you purchase a PPO health insurance plan at any time that eliminates the mandatory maternity coverage. This is Tom Marabali, your health insurance advocate and independent producer for Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois and other carriers. If you're over 50 and are covered by the Affordable Care Act, you're paying for maternity coverage every month whether you want it or not. In Chicago, the least expensive PPO health insurance plan under the ACA will cost $572 per month with a total out-of-pocket cost of $7,900 before your bills are paid at 100%. I can show you how to eliminate the mandatory maternity coverage and lower your monthly premium to $278 per month with a total out-of-pocket cost of $2,500 before your bills are paid at 100%. That's a savings of $294 a month and over $5,000 with my lower deductible. For a free quote and to see if you qualify, call me, Tom Marabali, at 630-863-3477. That's 630-863-3477.
Balance of Nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
I've had a corrective lens restriction on my driver's license for years and years, meaning that I have to drive with glasses. So my birthday came up and my license was going to expire on my birthday. So I went to the DMV, to get that renewed, and I passed the eye exam without glasses. And the lady, she's just looking at me going, how does that even work? She goes, you aced the whole thing. And I said, well, I started taking these supplements, and I started explaining it to her. And I tell everybody about it. It's been a huge blessing for me, for sure. I'll be on this stuff for the rest of my life. It's amazing.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Balance of Nature is now offering a 35% discount and free shipping on your first preferred order of Balance of Nature. This offer may end at any time, so don't wait to start Dr. Howard's Health Challenge. Call 800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
We now return to On Target Radio on AM 560, The Answer. If you have a question or an opinion, share it with us at 312-642-5600. And now, debating, debunking, and discussing today's hot issues. Here are your hosts, David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz.
No David tonight, just Gretchen and Eric. Eric is on the host mic tonight.
I'm on the David side.
That's right. He's risen to the level of host tonight.
I have the button. You're the host. I just have the buttons in front of me.
So you're telling me there's a chance.
You're at the command console. So.
I am.
I prefer no change. I fear change.
We don't like change.
That's right. So I insisted, no, I'm staying at my regular computer. So I think it's interesting. Of course, us pro-Trump people, us Trump lovers, us supporters of the president, love to talk about how the economy is booming, and there are now literally more jobs than people to fill them. More jobs than job seekers. If you look nationally, the number of job openings in August was 7.1 million compared with 6 million unemployed people looking to work. So that's amazing.
And that is amazing. And you know what? People say, oh, well, those numbers aren't real or whatever. They're real, and I can tell you, I know where I work, we are having a lot of trouble finding people. We have a lot of job openings right now, and it's very hard to keep people. We're bringing in some temps, and that's not working out so well. And I don't know what else to say. I mean, we have the openings, we have the jobs, and they're decent jobs.
Yeah,
I know Amazon constantly has commercials out there.
Oh yeah. Well, Amazon has super high turnover.
Yeah, they do. But I mean, at least in this area of the country, we're kind of at an advantage because we have all these intermodal facilities which require a lot of labor.
Yes.
I mean, they're not skilled jobs necessarily, but that's another problem. And I don't know if that article mentions that, but all those skilled trades, they're having a lot of trouble finding people for those skills.
I guess you could call that another part of the backlash too. I think when I was growing up, it was just college. Everybody was going to college.
Right.
Like I didn't hear anybody from my high school going to vocational school. I mean, maybe they did, but college was just pushed. And I think it's incorrect to push college to the exclusion of vocational school. I think that, I deal with people in unions all the time now as part of a government agency that, we hire unions to build our buildings for us in Will County. And those people make bank.
Oh, yeah.
Those people are freaking stacking paper.
Right.
So yeah, this article from State Line says in 39 states there are more jobs than people looking for them. That is just amazing. Now, those are June numbers, but still. North Carolina has the highest job openings rate with 5.7% of all jobs unfilled. Missouri, North Dakota, and Virginia were close behind. So, yeah, which is great because we're talking about moving to North Carolina. So that's really awesome.
Well, what I want to know is with all these job openings, why are so many people still on welfare? I think they just don't want to work. And I think this just proves it. It underscores that because they have the ability to do it. They're just not going to.
The interesting thing, too, I didn't get to go to the National Association of Counties conference this year, but last year when I went, there was, I'm just going to say it like it is, there was a black activist there who was railing against the Trump administration for trying to reform welfare, for trying to change the programs, the way that they're administered, how you qualify, how long you can qualify, all sorts of things. And, to be honest, Clinton was the biggest welfare reformer, in my lifetime.
Yeah.
So Clinton did sweeping change to the welfare system, which to his credit, I think it's wonderful that he did that. And so I think it's wrong to just put that on the Republicans and just say Republicans are bad because they want to take away all welfare. No, that's not true. If people have disabilities, if people legit cannot work, then okay, we want to help. But people who are able-bodied, people who who have skills, who have intelligence, we want them to get out there. It makes you feel useful. It makes you, it gives you better self-esteem to have a job and earn money.
It does. And, on the same token, if someone's willing to help themselves, I'm more willing to help them at that point. But if you're going to go home and sit on your butt and do nothing, I don't want anything to do with you. I don't think you should get anything.
Yeah, I think that, I don't think that this particular backlash is to the point where it's going to hurt Trump at all. I think the idea that if I'm looking for work or if I have a job but I'm dissatisfied and I'm looking for a new job, I have many choices. I don't think that is going to be a bad thing for the election or for Trump.
We'll turn it into one, but it's certainly we both know it's certainly not, though. It's a very prosperous time in this country.
It is. It's amazing. It's amazing, which, again, can lead to dissatisfaction in other countries. They see how well things are going for us, despite our madman in the White House. It's so hard for me because I'm out knocking on doors, talking to voters, and I've had 2 women in this cycle say how much they're still dedicated Republicans on the local level, but they can't stand Trump. Just so negative on Trump. And I just smile and nod because I don't want to argue. I don't want to cause an argument with them.
I mean, I get that some people, don't agree with his personality or some things like that, but you have to look at, the big picture. What has he done? Where has he gotten us? Where are we going? And those things all look positive.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I say it all the time. I love him. I think every day is Christmas. I think, despite, I wish he would stay off Twitter sometimes.
Yeah.
But beyond that, I think he's doing a great job. Keep going, man. Stay strong. Teflon Don. I love that. Okay, so we only have one segment left. I'm going to do action items when we come back with more On Target Radio. And you're listening to AM 560, The Answer.
12 days of Christmas? Not likely. At Tasty Catering, their chefs have been cooking up brand new winter menu items all year long. So when the temperature drops and you start humming holiday jingles, they're ready to serve you the best holiday party catering feast around.
The highly anticipated Tasty Catering holiday menus are already available online for you to browse. And what's more, the Tasty Catering staff is ready to use their award-winning service to get you into the holiday spirit.
Holiday party planners from companies throughout Chicagoland, from downtown to the far suburbs. Tasty Catering invites you to their kitchens to taste some delicious holiday menu items. Then, let their friendly team help you plan the most successful holiday party yet.
Don't wait. Call them today at 847-593-2000 or visit tastycatering.com to schedule a holiday lunch date on them.
Visit tastycatering.com now. Full menus are online, and their staff has an invitation waiting for you to come and sample.
tastycatering.com, 847-593-2000.
It's time to stand with Israel. Consider the lifelong impact of joining nationally syndicated media host Dennis Prager and Mike Gallagher, along with AM 560 The Answer, on the Stand with Israel tour. This December 2nd through 11th. More than a vacation, this journey will guide you through centuries of faith and culture as you visit iconic places right out of Scripture. Along the way, your host will broadcast on-site while you watch and participate. Together with like-minded travelers, you'll see over 40 iconic sites during the 10-day tour, where you can pray at the Western Wall in Old City, Jerusalem, float in the Dead Sea, and take a boat out onto the waters of the Sea of Galilee. Have you ever wanted to walk inside the Garden Tomb? Register today for the Stand with Israel tour this December 2nd through 11th. Just visit 560theanswer.com, keyword Israel. That's 560theanswer.com, keyword Israel.
You're listening to On Target Radio on AM 560, The Answer, with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life. Stand by. Here's Gretchen with your action items for the week.
The Illinois State Rifle Association will sponsor a scaled-down version of iGold on Tuesday, October 29th in Springfield. The venue for the meeting is the Howlett Building Auditorium, which only holds about 500 people. Muster is 9 a.m. The purpose of this event is to stop in and see your state senator and ask them to vote no on SB 1966, the bogus Fix the Floyd bill. If it passes the Senate, the governor will surely sign it. As long as you're there, take the time to go see your state representative. If you are unable to be present, please call your state senator and state representative from your home or work. I put the full schedule on our Facebook page last week. The following Safer USA classes are at our facility in Waterman, Saturday and Sunday, October 26th and 27th. Illinois Concealed Carry 1. This 16-hour class will be taught by David and meets the training requirements for Illinois Concealed Carry as well as Florida and Arizona. Saturday, November 9th, Illinois Concealed Carry Renewal class taught by David. To sign up for classes, go to saferusa.com and click on register.
All right, so we have a caller. David is on the phone.
Fire when
how
ready.
you doing tonight?
Hey, David, how are you?
Sounds like a good show.
It was a good show.
Did it pass with you?
Yeah.
Is it good enough?
Is it okay?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
I just wanted to make an observation. Having been to about a quarter of the countries in the world, people in other countries get the impression of how we live by what they see in the movies and they see in magazines. They all think we live in mansions and live a rich lifestyle. That's why they want to come here.
Don't we, though?
You know, I've wanted to do this for a while. David, turn off your radio.
That's it. Good show.
Thank you.
Thank you, David.
actually forgot to bring my clothes in here, so
I
don't have a clothes to read.
It's almost close time. I mean, we got a couple minutes left to shoot the stuff.
Shoot the breeze. Well, I could read the
breeze.
action item I did not read. Should I read it?
Yeah, let's go for that.
Okay. I am mystified when people ask, why should I join the Illinois State Rifle Association? There are several answers. The ISRA has won the Outstanding State Association of the Year award 6 times from the National Rifle Association, the Citizens Committee for the Right to Keep and Bear Arms Affiliate Organization of the Year award 11 times, Gun Rights Defender of the Year 2 times, the Illinois Wildlife Association of the Year award 2 times, and the Illinois Sporting Goods Association Extra Effort Award 2 times. I know some of you are thinking, so what? The so what is that the ISRA doesn't receive these awards for doing nothing. Most of these awards are from national organizations. That means out of the hundreds of gun rights groups out there, the ISRA keeps rising to the top. Look at the Illinois State Rifle Association right now. We have Culp versus Raoul, Wilson versus Cook County, Easterday versus Deerfield, all of which are or will be seeking appeals to the Supreme Court of the United States. The ISRA is the organization that sued over the Gun Dealer Licensing Certification Act. We also have the Vivian Brown case before the Illinois Supreme Court. We have White versus Illinois State Police in state court, which addresses the problem of law-abiding citizens with FOID cards who cannot get a CCL issued, and other cases coming all the time. We have 5 full-time lobbyists in Springfield that are always working when the General Assembly is in session. We send out thousands of legislative alerts a year. We have grassroots chapters all over the state that hold monthly meetings, and we sponsor more than 400 education and competitive activities a year. Who makes all this possible? Our wonderful members. That's who.
All right. Well said. With David's pithy comment and that, we've ran it right into the end. So we'd like to thank you for taking the time to listen to On Target Radio tonight.
And be sure to listen next week when we'll have more red meat issues that affect your life.
Double barrel magazine extended clips.
Famous conservative quotes, presented by Automated Systems.
The late great Winston Churchill said, "You will never reach your destination if you stop and throw stones at every dog that barks." Pretty wise words considering all of the distractions in modern society.
Manufacturing companies, I encourage you to call my friend Laz Kulchar from Automated Systems. Automated Systems is a software and systems integration company that specializes in companies that are